loop. We have been honored today to have in our company Nick Churton. I'm trying to say it properly with an English accent, but I can't do it. From Mayfair International, and Annette, Reeve. And they're visiting from London, and they owned Mayfair International, which is our office in London for Houlihan Lawrence. And we've learned a lot about the market. Thank you so much for talking to our team. Yeah.
Pleasure.
So, we were like I was mentioning before, we have several clients that are often looking to buy in London a flat, not an apartment or a house, and there's all these different terminology, like they talk about the garage and, so I was just hoping that you could kind of tell us a little bit about the buying process for someone there coming from America who's used to full service, and you were mentioning the way that listings are held by the individual broker. So how does one go about finding a flat in London?
We often get asked by agents here who are doing exactly what they should be doing, which is helping their clients. Mm-hmm. And clients here naturally ask their agent for advice.
Right.
So if I've got somebody that's saying to me, my client's moving to London for 2 years on a job move, so they want to rent somewhere or they want to buy somewhere, we explain that the UK system is very different. Mm-hmm. There is no MLS, so a buyer or a prospective tenant has to visit every single agent in the area they want to buy in, which is tricky.
It is tricky. So for those of you who don't know, MLS is a multiple listing service, which is what we use here. And typically, if you're buying in our area, in the States, you work with a buyer's agent who understands your needs, they qualify you, they try to really figure out what you're looking for so that you don't waste your time going from listing to listing, trying to figure it out. But
we do have buyer's agents in the UK, but they are very different to here.
Okay.
A buyer's agent in the UK is actually paid by the buyer.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got a client, particularly in an area like this, if you've got a client who may be on a job relocation, so it's a big thing, they may be moving their family, kids, starting schools, all of that sort of thing. There are a number of good buyer's agents in London particularly that we can recommend.
Oh, that's great.
But the buyer would pay the dues, which is around 1.5% of the overall purchase or rental price. But if you're on a job move from here, that can be good because that cuts out all the time wasting.
Absolutely.
Once people are living in London, they get used to the system. Okay. But what it does make us realise is the value that you guys provide to a client here is incredible compared to the UK.
So who holds their hand during the inspection process? And
a lot of it is done, it goes to lawyers much quicker in the UK.
Got it.
So once you've agreed, once you've negotiated the price, the lawyers step in immediately. So they do a little bit more. As a selling agent, you do help the buyer, but at the end of the day, you're not acting for them, but you're acting for the deal. So you do help the buyer, and in all the years we've done it, we would certainly really help a buyer along the process.
But I think somebody moving from here
Yeah.
has got to understand a number of basics to start with, and we can help with that. I think to make things easier for them, certainly we would speak to somebody and help them understand where the best place to live with.
Right.
Now, London is 600 square miles of towns and villages. Where do you start? And it's not just Chelsea and Mayfair and Belgravia, where if you want to school your kids in an American school, well, where's that? And what's the property like there? And how long does it take to get into town?
Right.
Are you going to be working in the east side of London or the west side of London? Where's best to live in those? North of the river, south of the river? You need to know a lot about the area that you're coming to, as well as the process of buying and selling. Otherwise you could make a big mistake.
Big mistake, absolutely. And are there, I know, so my husband is Greek, and in Santorini you have to be Greek in order to purchase there. Are there any regulations for foreigners buying?
There are, and they have changed recently. The actual buying process isn't quite the same. You don't need to be a citizen like you are here in the US even.
Right.
But your tax will be dependent on.
Oh, interesting.
So we tax foreign buyers.
Ah,
We tax British buyers.
So it's like the Hawaiians, like a round of golf in Hawaii is X if you live there versus
and also our money laundering markets have tightened up a great deal. So if you don't want to tell anybody where your money's come from, don't even bother.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So can you tell us, I have sometimes sellers and they'll put in an electric stove oven where like you could easily have gas, and they're like, oh no, but we're from London. They're just used to cooking with electric.
It is very popular. However, I personally like cooking on gas, but
Yeah.
it is popular in London.
Is there a reason why most people have
I
electric?
don't know, perhaps they've just got used to it.
Okay.
Gas is not easy outside London. If you're in a very rural area,
I see.
then there isn't mains gas,
Got
but
it.
there always remains electric.
And there's new legislation coming in about new build houses where they're going to phase out, I think they're going to phase out gas.
And certainly
Right.
those are gas heating.
Heating
Yeah.
and appliances, so that might have a bit to do with it as well.
It's a bit like when poor Americans arrive in London and they take one look at our washing machines. And
Right.
I remember a client once saying, "Is that for the table linen?" I said, "No, that's for the whole house."
Right.
I've got to do all my laundry in a machine that size. Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah, everyone that we speak to that comes from they can't believe the amount of space that we have.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you have more space,
Right,
a bigger
right.
country.
That's great. So can you talk a little bit about what's going on in your market with everything going on in the world and financially and
Well, it's only a personal view.
Yeah.
But I would say UK-wise, we've been flatlining for about 5 years.
okay.
And I mean, you've got presidential election, general election coming up next year.
Yeah.
And when those happen, things just suppress
Right.
a little bit.
People are waiting to see what's
People
going to happen.
waiting to see. They don't like the unknown,
Yeah.
so they'll wait until afterwards. Well, if you think that happens there for a general election, then we've had a general election followed by a European referendum, followed by a general election, followed by 3 years of nonsense about Brexit, and only now it's coming to the end. So we've had 5 years of that uncertainty, and no market likes an uncertainty.
Right.
So the UK market has been flat, apart from obviously the drivers of any real estate market, which are birth, death, marriages, divorces, job changes, and money worries. So Brexit doesn't stop babies being born or anything else. So there is, of course, an underlying market, but the discretionary buyer has been in short number for a while. Now, expanding that out, we're looking at countries that are perhaps on the edge of recession or having, and Germany might be in that, France might be in that, Italy might be in that. So we're seeing a number of places which are just suppressed at the moment, which might be stopping, again, that discretionary buyer. And I think also it's interesting coming here and noticing what's affecting the market here.
Right.
And certainly when we had the recession, sort of 07, 08, we had millennials, but we didn't have millennials with money. Now we've got millennials with money, and they think it in a different way to the generation before. So I think we're going to see a change in attitude into what people want, how they want to live, and that's only going to grow more and more. And that's, while that might be happening here, it's also happening everywhere else as well. So we're seeing the need for really, not necessarily larger properties, but much more high spec
Exactly,
property.
yeah. And I mean, what we're finding here is that people want to be closer to either, for us, this is the train,
Exactly, yeah.
transportation, the town, it's that walkability.
Well, what we've got, and I'm sure you've got here, we've got good towns with sort of attractive towns where people want to live with lots of facilities.
Right.
But now we've got younger generation wanting to live there because it's fun and it's vibrant and it's exciting. But we've now got the empty nesters
The older-
wanting
exactly.
to move there
Yeah.
as well
Okay.
because they want the same
So
thing.
we have that in common. At
Yeah, we
least.
do.
And I think that goes for most.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's this generational change
Yeah.
that is going on in the
More
world.
is not necessarily
Absolutely.
better.
And lock and leave is, when I first started in the business, people retired to the countryside and
Right.
wanted a farm. Now they don't want a farm,
yeah.
they want a
They
nice
don't want that
holiday.
isolation.
Yeah.
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 So great. I really appreciate you spending
Thank
time
you.
with me and my team, and that was
Thank you.
very informative. So
Thank you.
Thank you very
thank
much.
you so much, and we'll see you soon.